Alright guys, the other weekend was super busy for us. We had Dino's Get Down, the Chevy only show, and then we had Good Guys, the Southwest Nationals. So both was the first time for me going, never been to either one. Now the Get Down started at like 1, but I had to be there super early because I was working the booth for Dirty Dingo. Now we did end up putting my truck in the corner of the booth, which was nice. So I was able to talk to some of you viewers that came by. And I gotta admit, it was great meeting a lot of you guys. So I spent a lot of time getting to know some of you. So that was cool. But this place was packed. Now you gotta understand, the parking lot it was in is the parking lot for a water park. Okay, and it was full. There was everything from your bubble noses to your box Chevys to your square bodies. I mean, everything from slam to lifted, from show car to rat rod. I mean, it was really amazing to see the variety of all the different C10s and Chevys. Okay, now this truck is Dino's truck, which is the guy that puts it on. He's the guy that owns Chevy only. Dino's looks like early 60s C10 here. You can't miss it because it's got the blower on it and the air scoop through the hood. It's a good looking truck, and I guess Dino owns actually a lot of trucks, but you tend to see him take this one out a lot of the time, so it's a cool truck. Now Dixon Flannel Company was out there. They brought out their C10. It's slammed and everything. It's a nice looking truck. Now there were some extremely custom rides out there. Like this Bourbon here, this thing, they shaved the rear doors, they shaved the lights, there was only the front 2 seats, everything from their back was plexiglass, so you could actually see the painted suspension, all the custom air ride and everything like that. So, I mean, there was extremely wild to completely original. So, I mean, there was a big diversity of stuff. There were show cars. I mean, everything's mint condition. Trucks, Suburbans, Blazers, you name it. There was even some of the big Chevys out there, the C30s and bigger. Alright, so I came across this C10. And it's kind of funny if you notice they look like valves in the grill. I get asked about that all the time in my truck. They were on it when I bought it. I left it. It's kind of funny. I believe they're door pulls is what they look like for cabinets. But I thought it looked pretty cool, so I left them. Now this guy's got 2 rows instead of my 1 row. But it's the first time I've ever seen anybody else with the same thing. Interior in this thing was amazing. They had the louvered fins on the bottom. The black and white was just so clean. Now I actually found another step side. Looks around the same year as mine, which is pretty rare. I don't really see that many of these 64, 65 step sides. This truck caught my eye, not for the rims or how low it was or anything else. What caught my eye was the striping on the side. Okay, if you look close at it, it's like a copper, a swirled copper. And I thought that was an amazing accent. I really dug it. I hadn't seen it before, but I thought it was a cool accent. Now, this here goes to show you what my engine compartment is supposed to look like. This one here is all original, from the paint to the air cleaner to everything. This is what my truck is supposed to look like under the hood. It doesn't anymore. So this C10, they did something interesting with it. They painted the cab, two-toned it, black cab, but the bottom half, all they did was clear coat it. And you can see where they welded in to shorten the bed, they welded in to cover the turn signals and clearance markers. They used these big fat rivets on it, and it gave it a really cool effect. Of course, it's turbocharged and everything else, but I was more excited about the body work on it. The fact that you could see all the little patches and things they did. I thought it was a cool effect. Now, okay, you've seen the inside of my truck under the hood. And everybody always asks me, hey, why don't you go ahead and lower the front of the truck so it lays frame all the way down? Well, I'm particular, okay? I like my inner fender wells. Not just that I like the fender, you know, the flat part next to the hood, because that's where I lay all my tools when I work on it. And if I got to get in there, that's where I sit. To me, it's something about the older car having a big engine compartment, having that I don't want to get rid of it. Now, if you look at this, actual truck here, they went with a skinny wheel with a small wheel tub in the fender, which is kind of nice, so it keeps most of the fender. Obviously, you can't turn with it this low, but it's pretty cool. Now, the next one, you can see what it would be like to have my size wheels come all the way up through. You have to cut everything away in order to be able to get that wheel to come up, and I'm not willing to do that to my truck. It's not a whole keep it original thing, because I mean, you guys have seen my truck. It's nowhere near original, but I just don't like it. I would prefer just to keep my fenders. So what if the front bumper's 8 inches off the ground? I don't really care. So I mean, this is the reason. If you guys ever wonder why I don't lower the front of my truck, that and the header's head, but still. So on Saturday and Sunday we went to Good Guys. It was the Southwest Nationals. It was held up in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was my first time at this show. And I'd always been told how big these were, but I'd never been to one. Now, from the count I heard, there was over 4,000 cars there. Don't know, but that's the count I heard. Now, this place was super cool. There was autocross going on, burnout competitions. They were doing car giveaways. I mean, there was swap meet. You know me, I like my swap meets. And I was really surprised, because the swap meet, I figured at a type show like this, everybody's won $1 million for everything. No, I ended up going back Sunday and buying more. I had so much crap I bought. So, yeah, great deals. It was a good deal. They even had cars for sale. So, I mean, I looked at a few of those, but I'm not in the point I need to buy any more cars. Okay, so these cars here were parked up in front of the building. They all were winners for the year in different classes. This C10 here was definitely a show truck. I mean, the paint was perfect. The engine install was perfect. I mean, everything about it was on point. So I guess it won the best truck or whatever. The next one was this Caddy. Now, I like certain Caddies, but this is definitely one of them. This thing, it had amazing leather interior. The lines on it were great. It had fins, but not too crazy of fins. The grill, the bullets in the grill, everything looked great on it. So, I mean, out of all the show winners, whatever, the Caddy by far was my favorite. Now this Suburban, I've seen this at SEMA. I've seen it around. It's a clean build on it. It's a nice truck. The interior looks nice. I guess it's for sale. I saw a for sale sign. Okay, I'm not big on convertibles. Okay, never have been. But this thing, the details on it were awesome. Everything, the pinstriping, the blacked out grille, the interior, and they didn't do just the thin little windshield. They put metal up around the top of the windshield. Because you see guys put uprights and then just the glass, and yeah, no, they actually framed out the windshield. It looked really clean. Now I came across this rat rod, flat black paint, interior was nice and clean. Whoever did the upholstery on the seat did an awesome job. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And the bed of the truck, the bed's made out of T111 plywood, like you put on siding on some houses and stuff like that. So it's a different thought. As you can see, if you look close, you'll see the spark plugs in the exhaust tubes. So obviously he's got it set up to throw flames. At this point we started walking down through vendor row and everything else. Now there was some cars mixed in there. Now this thing is a miniature semi. So believe me, I couldn't get through the hatch to get down into this thing, that's for sure. But it's a drag car. It's got a huge blown big block on the back. Wrinkle slicks. The crazy thing is, it's a V-drive. So the engine is going past the rear end and then comes back to it. So it keeps the weight back of the rear wheel. So this thing probably wheel stands like crazy. There were some cars over next to vendor row. I took some pictures of these rat rods, and I really need to come up with a classification for these, okay? Because rat rod has such a big deal. There's rat rods that are just old cars with random stuff on it, and there's the truly built rat rods, which is built out of spare parts, and you know, make it do what you got and make it something cool out of it. These ones here were more or less things were put on them. I mean, there's, yeah, I mean, he's got crazy pipes, horns, all types of stuff. There's a scuttle hatch in the roof. I mean, I'm not bagging on it, okay? To each your own, okay? If this is what you like to do, more power to you. But I really wish there was more classifications of rat rods. That way, because a lot of people here, I build rat rods, and the first thing they think is I throw a bunch of crap on my car. And that's not the way I am. So I really wish there was some way to classify it. And if you guys know the classifications, comment, because I'd like to know what to call it, because I don't know if I should be calling my builds rat rods or something else. So if you know, comment. Okay, so there's a vendor there selling wagons, okay? Now, just like you guys know, a couple weeks ago I built my wagon. Okay, so I built my wagon for a total of 30 bucks, I think is all I had into it. This one here is nothing more than a stock wagon with the front axle flipped and the rear axle flipped and the pan put back on. And I believe that price tag says $275. Whew, too rich for my blood. There's other ones on here that are up to $1,000 for a wagon. I really think maybe I should start building wagons for a living, because if that's the kind of money you get for them, geez, I'm in the wrong business. So one thing about car shows is you end up meeting people a lot like you. You can tell it normally by the people's cars and things like that. But sure enough, man, we park at Good Guys, and here comes this brown square body bagger next to us, and then a silver one. And I meet these guys, and sure enough, right away we're on the same page. We're, you know, becoming friends. And one with the brown bagger C10 is Soup, and then with the silver is Gonzo. Great guys. Spent most of the day with them. Went and hung out with their club that night. Good guys, man. And that's the great thing about car shows, is you actually meet people like you. It's not all about standing next to your car with a look at me, look what I did. You know, a lot of times it's just brotherhood, man. Meeting other people like you and swapping ideas. So, all right, guys. Well, I've taken up enough of your time talking about these shows. Do me a favor. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And if you want to see something else, there's a link over here. Well, guys, the video will be coming out tomorrow night, Tuesday night. So you guys get to see what truck I'm building for Zip Tie Drags. Alright guys, have a great night.